Hi, my name is Allieperfater, and I will be giving a presentation for my English 526 course at Tiffin University. Each of us were able to pick a current event, write a paper on it, analyze it, and then put it into the form of PowerPoint. I chose a current event from CNN's website and Facebook about 50 plus antiquities that were seized by Manhattan's District Attorney's Office and returned back to their homeland in Italy. Before I get started, I just want to define some terms to help everybody better understand what is going on. So the first one is seize, and that's just to take hold of suddenly and forcibly, like basically somebody taking something that's not really theirs. Antiquities, the ancient past, especially the period before the Middle Ages, which the Middle Ages were like any time between the 5th century and like 15th century. And then repatriation is the return of someone or something in this case to its own country. So what's going on? At the beginning of this month, on September 6, 2022, CNN posted to their Facebook and website an article about the return of ancient artworks and antiquities that were to be returned to Italy. Some of the items were even seized from the well-known and highly acclaimed Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, New York. We can even read the headline on the screen: Manhattan DA returns 58 antiquities to Italy, including 21 seized from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This article was written by Rob Frazee, and it explains how years of stolen and looted antiquities are just now being repatriated and given back to their homeland in Italy. Stealing and looting have been going on for centuries across countries and continents. I took an archaeology course in undergrad that explored looting, repatriation, and the importance of antiquities being returned, which is why I feel like this is an important article and current event to address. I thought it would be beneficial to show an image of one of the repatriated antiquities. So if you look on the screen, you can see a photo that was one of the seized items from the Met. It is a marble head of the goddess Athena from 200 BCE. So as of the beginning of September, this item with 50 plus others have been returned to their homeland country of Italy. So what perspectives and people might be taking this article and Facebook post from CNN's website and Facebook into account? I believe there are three different perspectives. The first one are those who have no idea about what this ongoing issue is, and they're just commenting on it to join in on the conversation or just to make a Facebook post. The second perspective are those who know a little bit about art being stolen or looted and how museums house those objects. And the third person, I think, are those who have a greater knowledge. Maybe they've studied archaeology, worked in a museum, or they have some more insight on looting, repatriation, and different cases that involve seized antiquities, or maybe they've even been personally affected. So what are the pros and cons to this situation of the items being returned to their homeland? Well, the biggest consequence of this article is for the people who do not understand what is going on. It really does not look good that the Met had to be seized to return these objects. So the museum did not give their portion of the antiquities up willingly. They were raided and these items were given back due by force. On the one hand, it is really good. It's a pro that the items were given back, but for cons, it's just not good that the museum were not voluntarily returning those antiquities. These are some of the people's reactions from the CNN's Facebook post, and they're really a lot of the underlying reasons why this article is so important to analyze about, other museums need to take note, and the fact that this situation was not handled well by the Met, like I mentioned on the slide before. I think it's kind of funny when the third post, the screenshot that I have down was they said this Edwin Soto Jr. was the only reason that the pyramids are in Egypt is that the British Museum had no way to transport them. I mean, it's really comical, but unfortunately I can see why it has the response that it does, because it really just is kind of insane how many things have been taken over time. So why is it important to analyze this current event? Well, the public is calling out other museums for looting and exposing the corrupt history of stealing antiquities from other countries. And what is morally correct might not be right it might not be the right move to make. But also, what is the right move to make might not always be in the best interest of that antiquity. But in my opinion, it really comes down to what the country and the origin country of that item feels is best for that object. And, I think that's what the people in the comments, in my opinion, are kind of aligning. They're saying that it's for the origin country to decide. Also, it is a tricky situation because there is a lack of government policies, years of looting, repatriation, ethics, and morals, and all of these different aspects to consider. But nonetheless, this is why it is important to bring awareness to this topic of seized antiquities. And, um, so even though there are different perspectives and comments on this Facebook post, I really agree with the Manhattan's District Attorney Alvin Bragg when he states, and I'll click to the quote on the next slide. He says, "For far too long, they have sat in museums, homes, and galleries that had no rightful claim to their ownership." And I can't agree with this more because at the end of the day, these items and these antiquities deserve to be repatriated because they didn't deserve to be looted and stolen in the first place. Thanks for listening.